announcing today a major show of military force in the region.
In the vast oceans, where naval forces have historically reigned supreme, a new and unsettling threat is emerging on the horizon. The age-old dominance of aircraft carriers and battleships is being challenged by something entirely different: a swarm of drones, each cheaper and faster than the last. This isn't science fiction. This is the future of modern warfare. Imagine a scenario where a nation, with less traditional military might, launches over 1,000 drones in a single coordinated attack, overwhelming even the most advanced naval defenses. That nation? Venezuela. In this video, we delve into the heart of a potential battle that could redefine how nations defend their fleets, protect vital assets, and safeguard their interests. Picture this: a massive attack initiated by Venezuela, using a formidable arsenal of over 1,000 drones. These aren't just ordinary drones. They're smart, fast, and highly maneuverable, each designed to overwhelm traditional defense systems. Their mission is clear: cripple the heart of a powerful naval force, the aircraft carrier, and all its defenses. But how does the defending fleet respond? Can technology, which was once thought to be invincible, stand up to this new kind of warfare? In the early stages, the first line of defense comes in the form of ESSM, the Extended Range Sea Sparrow missiles, designed to intercept incoming threats at incredible speeds. The defense systems kick into high gear, but even with missiles in the air and close-in weapon systems like Phalanx CIWS firing relentlessly, something's off. The sheer number of incoming drones starts to strain the capacity of these systems. Some drones slip through. They evade. They adapt. As the situation intensifies, the defending fleet calls in its most powerful asset: electronic warfare. The EA-18G Growler, a highly specialized aircraft designed to disrupt and jam enemy radar, attempts to counter the swarm. But while it has some success, it's not enough to bring the onslaught to a halt. The drones, increasingly more sophisticated, are adapting faster than the technology can counter. What happens next is even more unexpected. The defense moves into uncharted territory. The latest classified systems, including laser weapons, are deployed in a desperate bid to neutralize these threats. Lasers, once thought to be a futuristic concept, now have the power to destroy drones mid-air, instantly. But despite their advanced capabilities, the drones keep coming. With every new layer of defense, they adapt, learning and evolving in real time, making the enemy harder to target and defeat. And as if this wasn't enough, the threat escalates. In a shocking twist, Venezuela deploys cruise missiles, launched from submerged submarines, intensifying the danger. These aren't your average missiles. They're capable of piercing through even the most sophisticated missile defense systems. Now, the defending fleet must defend on two fronts: drones in the sky and missiles from beneath the waves. This is not just a story of a future war. It's a stark warning. How vulnerable is the modern naval fleet to a swarm of cheap drones? Are traditional defense systems enough in the face of evolving technology? Can we prepare for a battle like this before it becomes a reality? Join us as we explore this potential conflict, break down the defense systems, and uncover the weaknesses that could reshape naval warfare as we know it. The battle begins with a sudden surge of activity on the radar screens. A massive assault is imminent, and the defending fleet has little time to prepare. It all starts when Venezuela, in a bold and unprecedented move, launches a strike with more than 1,000 drones. These drones are not the average reconnaissance vehicles or simple aerial targets that military forces have grown accustomed to in the past. They are sophisticated, fast, and heavily equipped with advanced technologies designed to pierce through even the most formidable defenses. Each drone is armed with small, precision-guided explosive charges, capable of disabling or even sinking the largest naval vessels, including aircraft carriers. Some of these drones have been modified with stealth capabilities, making them harder to detect on radar. Others are equipped with jamming devices to disrupt communications and radar systems, rendering the defending forces blind and deaf to the incoming threat. The initial detection of this swarm comes at a critical moment. The defending fleet, positioned near a strategic choke point in the Caribbean, had been on high alert due to rising tensions in the region, but nothing could have prepared them for what was to come. The first signs of the attack appear as small blips on the radar, so faint that at first, they are dismissed as minor anomalies. But as the numbers increase, it becomes clear. A full-scale assault is underway. The fleet's early warning systems, capable of detecting incoming threats from hundreds of miles away, have been triggered. Still, the sheer volume of targets overwhelms the system, causing delays in response time. The defense commanders spring into action. Immediately, they scramble fighter jets from the aircraft carrier, hoping to intercept the incoming drones before they reach the fleet. But the drones are fast, moving at speeds of over 300 miles per hour, making it nearly impossible for the jets to catch up. As the fleet scrambles to organize an effective defense, the first wave of drones closes in, and the real battle begins. To counter this swarm, the fleet relies on its most advanced air defense systems. The ESSM, or Extended Range Sea Sparrow missiles, are deployed as the first line of defense. These missiles are designed to intercept and destroy incoming threats at ranges of up to 30 miles. Within seconds, the sky lights up with streaks of missile fire as the defending fleet launches a barrage of ESSM missiles toward the incoming drones. The missiles streak toward their targets with pinpoint accuracy, each missile designed to hit a drone at the perfect angle, detonating it mid-air. Some drones are destroyed, but many others continue to surge forward, evading interception with evasive maneuvers or simply being too numerous to stop all at once. As the defense continues to struggle with the overwhelming number of drones, the Phalanx Close-In Weapon System, CIWS, comes online. This rapid-fire, fully automated defense system is designed to engage threats that manage to get too close to the ship. With a rate of fire of up to 4,500 rounds per minute, the Phalanx CIWS is ideally suited for taking out fast-moving small targets like drones. The system begins to unleash a torrent of bullets at the incoming drones, tearing them apart before they can reach the ship. The system is effective, but it too starts to show signs of strain. The relentless pace of the attack begins to wear down the system, and some drones are still able to make it through, causing damage to the fleet's smaller vessels, and even putting dents in the carrier's outer hull. As the battle rages on, the fleet's commanders begin to realize the extent of the threat. The drones aren't just targeting the ships, they're targeting the fleet's most critical systems. Some of the drones carry advanced cyber warfare tools, designed to infiltrate and disable the fleet's command and control infrastructure. Others are equipped with sophisticated jammers that disrupt communications and radar, causing confusion and slowing down the response time of defense units. The defenders are now fighting not only a physical battle, but also a cyber warfare campaign that is eroding their ability to communicate, coordinate, and act. Despite the best efforts of the defending fleet, the drones keep coming. The attackers' strategy is clear. They've overwhelmed the fleet's ability to respond with traditional defense systems. But there's one thing the defenders haven't yet deployed: their final, cutting-edge defense weapon. This is where the true nature of the battle will begin to unfold. But that comes later. For now, the defenders are stuck in a desperate struggle, fighting a multifaceted war against overwhelming odds, with their traditional defenses showing their limits in the face of an enemy that is fast, adaptable, and relentless. The world watches as this high-stakes battle unfolds, and the future of naval defense hangs in the balance. As the swarm of drones continues to close in on the defending fleet, the situation becomes increasingly dire. The traditional defense systems are buckling under the strain, and with the drones showing no signs of slowing down, the commanders are forced to escalate their response. The first line of defense, which had initially relied on the ESSM missiles and the Phalanx CIWS, has proven effective but insufficient in the face of such an overwhelming attack. The number of drones is simply too large, and many of them are adapting on the fly, employing countermeasures to avoid interception. With time running out and the risk of a catastrophic breach becoming ever more real, the fleet calls upon its most advanced weapon: electronic warfare. In the heat of battle, the defending fleet turns to a new generation of high-tech electronic countermeasures, hoping they will be enough to turn the tide. The EA-18G Growler, a specialized electronic warfare aircraft, is the fleet's trump card. A derivative of the FA-18 Hornet, the EA-18G Growler is designed to disrupt enemy radar, communications, and missile guidance systems. Equipped with an array of jamming and electronic attack pods, the Growler has the potential to neutralize the incoming threat by rendering the drones blind, deaf, and incapable of completing their mission. As the Growler takes to the skies, its radar-evading technology allows it to slip into the range of the attacking drones undetected. The aircraft begins to deploy its sophisticated jamming systems, sending out a series of radio frequency bursts aimed at blinding the drone's targeting systems. The first waves of drones are impacted almost immediately, with several suddenly veering off course or losing communication with their controllers. Some of the drones, which had been relying on GPS signals, are thrown into disarray as the Growler's electronic attack systems scramble their navigation. But the drones don't stop. To the defenders' shock, a second wave of drones, which had been launched from a separate location, appears on radar. These new drones seem to be equipped with advanced anti-jamming technology, capable of withstanding the Growler's electronic assault. They move in tight formations, taking advantage of the chaos and disruption caused by the initial wave of drones. The Growler's efforts, although impressive, are not enough to fully neutralize the threat. Despite the plane's relentless jamming efforts, the drones continue to break through the fleet's defenses, their numbers slowly growing. The situation becomes even more complicated when the defending fleet realizes that these drones are not simply following pre-programmed flight paths. Some of them are being manually controlled, with operators directing them to specific ships or weak points within the fleet's defense perimeter. The sophistication of the attackers' tactics is becoming apparent. They are not just relying on brute force, but are employing a strategy of precision, targeting key systems on the ships, radar arrays, communication hubs, and anti-missile systems. With each drone that breaches the defense perimeter, the fleet's ability to coordinate and respond is further crippled. Amid this growing chaos, the EA-18G Growler presses on. It launches a second round of high-intensity electronic pulses, pushing its jamming systems to the limit. The defending fleet hopes this second wave will be enough to fully disable the remaining drones. However, despite the efforts of the Growler, more drones are still making it through the defenses. The overwhelming number of drones has exposed a glaring weakness in the fleet's ability to respond to such a complex and diverse threat. While the Growler has caused significant disruption, the drones continue to evolve and adapt. In a desperate move, the defending fleet increases its reliance on other aircraft capable of electronic warfare. A handful of E-2D Hawkeye early warning aircraft, equipped with their own powerful radar and communication systems, join the fray. These planes, working in tandem with the Growler, are able to provide real-time updates on the drones' locations, directing the fleet's defense systems more effectively. While this improves coordination, it's still a game of catch-up. The drones, which have already broken through several layers of defense, are able to adapt faster than the fleet can react. The sheer complexity and adaptability of the drones, paired with their ability to evade electronic interference, is becoming clear. Traditional electronic warfare methods are simply not enough. The defenders are forced to rethink their entire strategy as the situation continues to spiral out of control. The electronic warfare efforts, though disruptive, have not been able to stop the tide of incoming drones, and the defending fleet now faces the sobering reality that their current technology may not be enough to counter such a well-coordinated, adaptive enemy. As the battle rages on and the drones continue to overwhelm the fleet's initial defenses, the situation becomes even more critical. The defenders, realizing that the traditional anti-aircraft and electronic warfare systems are insufficient against such a massive, adaptable swarm, turn to the next phase of their defense. Cutting-edge, classified systems that may hold the key to stopping the onslaught. Among these systems are directed energy weapons, primarily laser systems, and a range of high-tech countermeasures that have yet to be fully deployed in combat. The hope is that these technologies, which have been in development for years, will finally prove their worth under the extreme pressure of battle. The first laser weapon system to be deployed is the XN-1 LAWS, a prototype designed to neutralize small, fast-moving targets with extreme precision. The LAWS system uses a high-energy laser to strike the drones at nearly the speed of light, instantly burning through their fragile outer casings and disabling their critical components. As the first drones approach the fleet, the LAWS locks onto its targets with deadly accuracy, unleashing a burst of concentrated energy. The drones caught in the beam disintegrate mid-air, their metal frames reduced to molten debris. For a moment, it seems like the defenders have found a solution. The laser weapons appear to be doing their job, incinerating drone after drone in a spectacular display of technological prowess. However, the drones are learning. The attacker's strategy begins to shift. A new breed of drones, equipped with reflective coatings and anti-laser materials, begins to emerge. These drones, less vulnerable to the high-energy lasers, prove more difficult to neutralize. Despite the advancements in directed energy weapons, the defending fleet realizes that lasers alone cannot guarantee victory. They are powerful, but not infallible. Many drones slip through the defensive perimeter, dodging the laser strikes with surprising agility. As the fleet scrambles to find additional solutions, it becomes clear that the attacker's technological superiority lies not only in the overwhelming number of drones, but also in their ability to adapt to each layer of defense the fleet deploys. At the same time, the fleet's commanders realize that a more unconventional approach is required. In response, they turn to another breakthrough in naval defense: high-powered microwave (HPM) weapons. These weapons are designed to disrupt electronic circuits, essentially frying the systems of the drones in mid-air. The first of these systems, dubbed the X-band HPM generator, is activated and aimed at the incoming drone swarm. The HPM weapon unleashes a burst of electromagnetic energy, and several drones immediately begin to malfunction, their flight paths erratic as their guidance systems are overwhelmed. Some drones drop from the sky, while others veer off course, crashing into the ocean or colliding with one another. For a brief moment, it seems like the tide is turning in favor of the defenders. The HPM system has dealt a significant blow to the attackers, disrupting their synchronization and causing chaos among the drone swarm. But the attackers are relentless. As the fleet celebrates a brief victory, the next phase of the conflict begins. From beneath the waves, Venezuela's submarines launch a new and even more dangerous weapon: the Hoveze cruise missile, a highly accurate, long-range weapon capable of evading conventional missile defense systems. The missiles, designed to launch from both submerged submarines and mobile platforms, are equipped with advanced guidance systems that make them particularly difficult to intercept. The missiles streak across the sky, aimed directly at the fleet's most vulnerable targets. Unlike the drones, these missiles are not cheap or easily replaceable. Each one represents a major investment in the Venezuelan military's strategic capabilities. As the missiles close in, the defenders scramble to respond, launching interceptors and activating countermeasures. The fleet's advanced Aegis combat system is engaged, and several Standard Missile 3s are fired to intercept the incoming Hoveze missiles. The defensive systems track the missiles, but the Hoveze has been designed to maneuver at high speeds, making it harder to target. Some of the missiles are intercepted mid-flight, but not all. A few make it through, striking several smaller vessels and causing significant damage to the fleet's outer defenses. The explosions send shockwaves through the ships, and alarms blare across the decks as fire and smoke spread. The ability of the fleet to defend against these long-range missile attacks has been stretched to its limit, and the result is catastrophic for some of the ships involved. The pressure on the fleet intensifies as the next phase of the attack unfolds. The sheer volume of threats, drones from the sky, missiles from below, and even cyber attacks from the enemy's advanced hacking units, forces the fleet into an unprecedented defensive posture. The radar systems are scrambled by the jamming attempts of the drones, while the fleet's communication lines are increasingly compromised by the attackers' cyber warfare specialists. These specialists are not just disrupting radar and communications, they are actively targeting the fleet's command centers, trying to disable its ability to make coordinated decisions. it becomes clear that the fleet is now fighting a multi-dimensional war on all fronts, each layer of defense being peeled back by the relentless assault. Despite the damage, the defenders refuse to surrender. In a desperate bid to regain the upper hand, they deploy their final weapon, a new type of hybrid defense system, the Phantom Shield. This system combines advanced artificial intelligence with real-time analysis of incoming threats, predicting where the drones and missiles will strike before they even arrive. Using this predictive technology, the Phantom Shield calculates optimal countermeasures and deploys them autonomously, targeting incoming threats with precision. The system works in tandem with the fleet's existing defense systems, filling in the gaps left by the overwhelming drone swarm. For a moment, it appears that the attackers have finally encountered an insurmountable obstacle. The Phantom Shield successfully neutralizes several waves of drones, as the AI analyzes patterns and intercepts with remarkable speed. But the attackers are not yet done. Realizing the vulnerabilities of the defending fleet, Venezuela deploys a final surprise move, a full-scale coordinated hacking attempt to disable the Phantom Shield. With the AI system compromised, the fleet is left vulnerable once more. The defenders are now not only fighting a physical war against drones and missiles, but a cyber war that threatens to erase their last line of defense. As the battle unfolds, it becomes clear that the future of naval warfare is shifting. Traditional defense systems are no longer enough to cope with the evolving threats of the modern age. With drones, advanced missiles, lasers, and electronic warfare all converging in a single, multifaceted assault, the balance of power in naval defense has been irrevocably altered. The attackers have proven that technology, while powerful, is not infallible, especially when faced with a determined and adaptable enemy. And as the final waves of the assault crash against the defending fleet, the world is left to ponder the future of warfare at sea. Can the next generation of defenses stand up to the challenges of tomorrow? Or has the age of traditional naval power come to an end? Only time will tell. As the dust settles and the echoes of battle fade, the true cost of the confrontation becomes painfully clear. The defending fleet, though it managed to repel some of the drones and missile strikes, has suffered catastrophic losses. The first and most obvious issue is the overwhelming strain placed on its defense systems. Despite the advanced technology at its disposal, ESSM missiles, Phalanx CIWS, electronic warfare aircraft, and cutting-edge laser weapons, none of these systems were enough to fully counter the massive multi-pronged assault. The drones, particularly, exposed glaring weaknesses. Their sheer numbers, coupled with the ability to adapt to each layer of defense, made traditional military technology ineffective against them. While lasers and electronic warfare caused significant disruption, the defense systems were unable to maintain their effectiveness in the face of such an overwhelming barrage. At the peak of the battle, the fleet's radar systems were overloaded, and many of the defensive measures ran out of ammunition, unable to respond to the continuously incoming threats. Moreover, the rapid pace of the attack demonstrated the vulnerability of even the most advanced naval platforms. Aircraft carriers, once thought to be nearly invincible, were now exposed to threats from multiple fronts: air, sea, and even cyberspace. Drones swarmed relentlessly, striking at the fleet's most critical infrastructure, from radar systems to communication hubs, severely compromising the fleet's ability to coordinate its efforts. While the advanced AI-based Phantom Shield system showed promise, it ultimately fell short when faced with a targeted cyber attack designed to disable its predictive capabilities. As a result, the fleet was left blind and vulnerable, with no effective means to counter the increasingly sophisticated and adaptive tactics employed by the attackers. In addition to these technical shortcomings, there were critical issues with logistical preparedness. The fleet's stock of anti-drone ammunition was quickly depleted, and the pressure on resupply efforts became apparent as the battle continued. Ships ran low on fuel and ordnance, while those that had sustained damage from drones or missiles struggled to maintain combat readiness. Some vessels, despite their advanced defenses, were forced to retreat from the fight, severely hampering the overall cohesion of the fleet. What had started as a show of strength ended in a desperate scramble to salvage what remained. As the battle drew to a close, it became clear that the attackers, though they had lost a significant portion of their drones and missiles, had achieved a near-complete strategic victory. The defending fleet had been forced into a defensive posture from the outset, and despite the deployment of state-of-the-art technology, it was unable to hold back the tide of modern adaptive warfare. The attack had revealed profound vulnerabilities in the fleet's ability to respond to a coordinated, high-tech assault. Looking ahead, it's evident that the future of naval warfare will be shaped by the lessons learned from this conflict. The era of overwhelming technological superiority, where larger and more advanced ships could dominate the seas, may be over. Instead, fleets will need to adapt to an environment where smaller, faster, and more flexible systems, such as drones, electronic warfare, and missile technology, will be the primary threats. The defense against such a threat will require not just advanced hardware, but an entirely new approach to naval strategy, one that incorporates adaptive, multi-layered defense systems capable of countering a wide range of emerging threats.